All right. So I think that's how you pick the scenario, I think.
Yeah, the first one is the Ukraine DLC.
Yeah, Pripyat. Fucking 1989, perestroika draws to the end and the old leaders leave one by one. What will happen to Russia? Okay.
Something horrible, probably.
Oh my god. That's pretty loud. Okay.
Wait, go back to that again. What the fuck was that?
Modificators. It's sovereignty. So that's economic decline, growth of support and influence. Of what exactly we are not told. Deal with nationalists. The weakening of the separatists and decrease of influence. Okay.
Just remember that since I can't see your mouse cursor, if you're hovering over anything, I can't tell which particular of the text you're hovering over.
Interesting. And own party. Hold on to the planned economy. What the fuck is going on? I have no idea. So we get all these.
Oh, look, there's a collapse stat.
A collapse. Oh, collapse. Yeah, panic. Industry collapse, standard of living, infrastructure, the economic growth. Love it. Agriculture, political power, population satisfaction.
Political line conservator.
Okay, so that's save load menu. Okay.
What would the globe lead us to?
Nothing.
Oh, no, it's not it's unclickable, okay.
Yeah. I think we can only click on, Oh, it's this again, right. I forgot that this is Crisis in the Kremlin. I'm too used to nostalgia. Okay, this is a lot easier.
This is the only screen though, yeah.
Yeah, this is a lot easier. Propaganda, social spending, development of industry, state security, agriculture, infrastructure. I see.
This is the first time of me looking at all this stuff. I'm not even sure what we are supposed to...
Yeah, and we have political line conservator. Okay. Oh, difficulty, corruption, instability of the center, perestroika is unstoppable! What the fuck? What do you mean perestroika is unstoppable? Okay. New day of a great country. Good afternoon, Vitaly Ivanovich. I inform you that the New Year holidays were held without any notable incidents. Well, that's interesting. 1988 was a difficult year for us, but do not despair. Only the conquest of new peaks is ahead. Oh, if everything was so optimistic. The problem of commodity shortages continue to worsen. The pace of economic growth is declining, and discontent in Russia, as in other Union republics, continues to grow. And if until now it has only been possible to restrain popular anger with passionate speeches about perestroika, democracy, and glasnost, the situation is now starting to get out of control. The Ryzhkov's government wants to introduce a card supply system throughout the country, which until then had...
Fun.
Yeah, that's very fun. Had mainly been involved in provincial cities for a limited list of goods. However, we know that the current mess in the country is a logistical result of the abolition of the state monopoly of the government on foreign trade, due to which the Soviet goods began to be exported for nothing, leaving the Soviet buyer with lines and a shortage of essential goods. However, we could try to put spoke to the wheels of cannibalistic reforms, but will we not cause the Kremlin's anger by our action? Oh, so we're not the premier. Interesting. I'm not sure exactly who the fuck we're playing, but that's fine. I'm guessing we're playing like the head of the Russian
Yes, I do
SSR.
believe that's the case.
Okay. So approve Ryzhkov's decisions and introduce a universal card system. Introduce a card system enough for Ryzhkov to increase retail prices. Limit the export of goods abroad and hit corrupt officials.
Look at the lower. I can no longer cope with this. Time to restart.
You can already resign. That's great.
Wait, will this actually take game over though?
Most likely.
You should.
I will
I
not.
feel like we're just going to get replaced by someone.
I will not click that.
You know, come on, it's just the start of the game. We can always reload. You clicked.
I clicked it.
Oh, chairman of the Presidium of the Supreme
Soviet of the RSFSR. Yeah, so we're basically the leader of the RSFSR.
Resigned. You only took this post 2 months.
Поражение.
Okay.
That's...
After that was left the post of chair. You can read it.
Yes, the new leader of Russia was the loyal to Gorbachev reformer Alexander Vlasov, of course, Vlasov, who failed to gain the confidence of the population and the party. So in the 1990s, he lost to the opposition leader Boris Yeltsin. Oh, no. Of course. The center's attempt to maintain its position in the Union republics only led to a further aggravation of the situation and exacerbation of the political crisis. Okay, the Union agreement failed. And in December 1991, Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus signed this. Yeah, so that's quote-unquote historical. All right, sure. Okay.
Oh, God.
New day in a great country.
That's a very positive postal stamp right there.
That was it. That was a good beginning. A good beginning for a great Soviet adventure. Okay, so we have 3 decisions. So either approve the decision and introduce universal card system. So that's perestroika. Introduce a card system and offer Ryshkov to increase retail prices. I'm guessing that's liberal. And then limit the export of goods abroad and hit corrupt officials. Or maybe, no, this is liberal, this is perestroika, and this is just conservative.
To be honest, I don't see much political, how should I say it? Much political background from these 3 choices.
Yeah, but you know, it's the first one. I mean, we gotta think it through, you know. See, like, this seems like a pretty good idea, but it also seems like a pretty terrible one.
How is the system liberal, though?
Because the alternative is... Right, you're completely correct about this. But I guess there's like no real liberal option. So, no, see, okay. The card system is a consequence of us exporting and opening up the foreign market. So, if we open up the foreign market, we are forced to do the card system because then there aren't enough goods. It's not like, see, we are not America, okay? We can't simply ignore the inexistence of a certain type of goods and say it's the free market, okay? So, actually limiting the exports is less liberal because it's limiting the exports.
So, what do you feel like going with? Because I'm just as lost as you are.
I know what you want to do is be conservative. But
sure?
Yes, but I
just want to see what mess we can make.
But I maybe would like to venture into some liberalism. I'm not sure. Maybe perestroika, maybe liberalism. It does seem like increasing retail prices is just like a good decision, though. Anyway. Card distribution system was introduced throughout the country, trying to alleviate the difficult food situation, keep goods in the districts, and order the necessary goods and necessary quantities from suppliers. Food stamps began to appear on the ground at the initiative of local authorities. Sugar, oil, synthetic detergents, the very first and subsequently most common products sold on the card system in almost every area. At the suggestions of Comrade Vorodnikov, sent to the chairman of the Council of Ministers of the USSR, Nikolai Ryshkov, prices for the essential goods such as meat, eggs, fish, and sugar were raised, which caused sharp discontent from citizens. But nevertheless, these measures did not solve the problem of the shortage of goods. There were still no goods either on the shelves. That is very sad. I am...
Wait, what does the phone lead to?
It's just saving.
Yeah, okay.
Done!
Can you click on the portrait?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but it looks like you're mainly dealing with these decisions.
We got more collapse stats, that's nice.
We've got more collapse. We're 9% collapsed, and it's only been 1 month.
Wait, did standard of living actually go up by 1? I might be wrong. Like,
I'm not sure. I know industry went down by 3.
So did agriculture.
Yeah, and the economic growth, I think, is the same. Oh, you cannot hear the music, but...
No, I heard that.
Я не такой молодой. Yeah. Fucking love this. Gonna... Okay, yeah, the volume's pretty good. Alright. Memorial. After the January resolution of the Central Committee of the CPSU... Wait, what the fuck? On additional measures to restore justice in relation to the victims of repression that took place during the 30s, 40s, and early 50s. I love Russian, like, ridiculous numbers of adjectives and stuff. The Constituent Conference of the Memorial Society was held, okay, in which such famous dissidents as Andrei Sakharov, oh, this guy, I remember fucking this guy. I remember how annoying he was. And Yev Panamaroy. Memorial is a non-profit organization, and all the Russian nationalists right now are going, NGOs, conducting active educational work in the field of political repressions, which they claim to have been in the Soviet Union since the 1930s. It is difficult to say where they have data on the mass of Stalinist terror, but if access to the archives is still limited. Yeah, that's a pretty legitimate question. But don't worry, comrade. Everyone in the Soviet Union was in Gulag. Okay, but this does not prevent them from conducting active anti-Stalinist campaign and promoting the installation of monuments to victims of political repression. Nevertheless, memorial activists are going to run for the upcoming Congress of the People's Deputies. Okay. Fucking Soviet elections.
What do we do?
So welcome the creation of the memorial and support the anti-Stalinist media campaign going for the declassification of the archives. Condemn the provocations. Intervene and try to close it.
Or we'll not involve into this.
We are not involved in this. I am Switzerland.
Wait, you really went with it?
Yes. I'm still not sure what I want to do. I want to keep myself neutral.
Registered with the Ministry of Justice and now in full swing to prepare for the upcoming elections of the People's Deputies.
It's fine. Look, my friend.
Collapse that.
By free. See, this is not nearly as bad as having 99% nostalgia for the entire game. We have 10 unused money, comrade.
What should we invest into?
Holy shit, look at this. This actually tells me what it does. What?
I know, right?
I am very, very, very surprised that this is the case. What do we need?
Still matching the game, so yeah.
I mean, yeah. Political power, population satisfaction, economic growth, standard of living.
What do you feel like in this?
I feel like we want to reduce the panic. Oh, there we go.
Oh no, I don't like that title.
It's this! Yes!
The walls of text are back again.
Well, I mean, it's not nearly as bad as some of the Nostalgia was pretty bad on the text walls. Okay, this month, new elections of People's Deputies should be held according to the amended system. According to initial idea, this will be the first competitive and alternative election in the Soviet Union that will elect 2,250 representatives to the new Supreme Authority, the Congress of the People's Deputies, okay? Even before the start of the elections, one of the candidates from Latvia, Viktor Alksnis, I know that name.
Yeah, where have I seen it?
I have no idea, but I know that he exists. Pointed out oddities in the formation of constituencies. So in the rural areas of the Latvian SSR, districts were created which were 4 times different in number from urban ones. From 30,000 to 127,000 people. Arithmetically, the average number of constituencies in the Republic was about 62,000 people. Thus, according to him, the rights of citizens and the working class to elect their deputies are artificially limited. Okay, so he's saying that, like, the districts are, like, drawn incorrectly and they favor rural areas. Okay.
My mind is on fire.
I can imagine. See, no, if your mind is on fire because of this, don't look at like American election restrictions.
I know what you're thinking about. Yes.
With how they're drawn with like just
late
ridiculous
already.
shapes just to elect some people.
It's already too
Gerrymandering.
late for me.
Yeah. Nevertheless, citizens are in anticipation of the elections because before their eyes a swift coup in the political sphere of the country flares up, which undoubtedly will only lead to the strengthening of Soviet power, right? Of course, my friends! Nothing can go wrong from this election. So stand for election, actively support conservatively moderate candidates, support pro-perestroika reformers. Support the most progressive candidate.
What would the most progressive candidate be?
Liberals?
I'm not sure. But before liberals were just kind of amalgamation of every right-winger in the game.
Of every evil, capitalist, Western American imperialist, monarchist, fascist.
What are we gonna do?
Standing for election would be a meme. We are likely going to... I'm guessing that we are not supposed to do this.
What? Watch us lose the game.
Watch us lose the game. Yeah, this is not a good idea. Support pro-perestroika or support the most progressive or support moderately conservative.
All the proper conservatives probably dispersed by now.
We're going in. Vitaly Ivanovich, I warmly congratulate you! You were able to win the election by beating your... But I didn't go ahead and run? I'm very confused.
I feel like we're missing some intricacies of the Soviet system here.
I mean, I'm very confused, my friend. We are missing some intricacies of the most glorious Russian political system in the world. You cannot see this, by the way, but I've made sure that the situation is accurately represented in my video with a big brain. Anyway, like, according to the results of the vote, 2,250 deputies were elected, among whom 1,905 communists. Your support for reformist candidate could not bring victory to anyone. Also, among the deputies were such famous persons as Andrei Sakharov, the Devil, Yegor Yakovlev, and Dmitry Likhachev.
That's a very accurate representation of his name, yes.
Wait, isn't Likhachev that liberal guy? No, I'm not.
Wasn't that with a G? No.
No. I'm thinking of Yavlinsky. Okay. First Congress of the People's Deputies is scheduled for May. Okay. So May, which is next month, is when shit's gonna go down, essentially.
Well, I'm just increased slightly. Wait, what do we use political power for in this?
Don't ask me. I'm guessing if it goes down to I'm guessing if it goes down to like very low, we're gonna get overthrown. I'm guessing it's not a resource, it's a stat. Yeah. Because I don't see, like, the only thing I see that we can spend is money. But, you know.
Wait, what's the rate? Our stats in the radio.
The radio is just for the volume and, like, the modifiers.
Oh, god fucking damn, that poster looks terrifying.
Stalin Veliki nam put ozaril. Stalin Veliki nam put ozaril. See, that's from the anthem, but like the one I know says Lenin, but of course, you know, the early one would have been Stalin. Okay. Anyway, Vitaly Ivanovich, the first post-election plenary session of the Central Committee of the CPSU should be held very soon, where, according to some people close to Gorbachev, former Brezhnevists and other pensioners from the Central Committee will resign under the pretext of rejuvenating the cadre. Okay, nevertheless, the conservatives are also not going to be silent, and they are ready to retaliate against the perestroika, for they have something to say given the failures of the CPSU in the elections in Moscow and Leningrad. It's time to accept one of the parties in this fierce confrontation, comrade.
Oh no.
Yeah, oh, actually,
so
okay,
it is a
not enough political
resource.
power. So that's if we wanted to join the
We can't-
conservatives.
Yeah, we can't.
Support.
Also, I'm not having read that poster again, I think it's actually a critical poster of Stalinism, because the particular use of Stalin in that line I don't remember in the USSR version of the anthem early on.
Really now?
Stalin was in that anthem mentioned, but not in that line, I believe. That line was always Lenin, I think.
Okay. And because the poster overall is very, very creepy. I'm not see like
Yeah.
these people look like they have like industrial, you know, equipment in them. I think it looks amazing, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's very creepy.
I'm pretty sure the guy's holding whatever the fuck.
Yeah, he's holding a walking stick, and they're doing like the whole you know, let's hold the hammer and the sickle thing, but I don't know. This is very confusing as a whole. Okay. Anyway. Oh, what is the picture today in the central organs of the party? If we turn to the numbers, I must say that out of 301 members of the central committee, damn, that's a lot of fucking people in the central committee. 83 are now retired. Among 157 candidates for membership in the central committee, 27 pensioners. Among 82, so yeah, they're all old. Okay, require much more activity. Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev declared at the April plenary meeting and came up with fierce criticism of the conservatives gathered around the figure of Ivan Poloskov. I don't know how to say Russian without the Russian marking.
If it was written in Russian, I probably could have.
Yeah, we would probably understand, but you know. Who stated the fact that after the 19th party conference, it became clear that those party committees that are not able to get out of the rut began to fail after failure in the main areas. I think I know what he said. Vitaly Vorotnikov, joining the criticism of the conservatives, called Poloskov an opponent of perestroika and democratization, and he would probably answer yes. As a result, 74 members of the Central Committee and 24 members or candidates for membership in the Central Committee were removed from the Central Committee of the CPSU at the plenum. Okay, so, right.
I assume those members were the conservatives.
Yeah, those were the... So, what Gorbachev is doing is that he's saying, you are all old, you need to go to pension.
Yeah. Basically.
And obviously, like, older people are generally more Brezhnevite, more conservative. So, yeah, that's useful for him. Okay, at least he's not sending them to the hospital. Okay, so there's people fucking lining up. Oh, look, it's the coronavirus. You cannot...
people lining up at the... I'm pretty sure that's a liquor store.
Yeah, that's Vino. I'm pretty sure that's a liquor store.
Also, our Soviet Union it's changed color.
Yeah, it's pink because we're a reformist.
We're moderate, oh fuck. Collapse that increased yet again. We have more political power though.
Yeah, but honestly, it's not... Yeah, because obviously, like, the whole line is in you know, in sync with what we're doing.
Can we click on the radio now?
Yes, we can. Deal with nationalists, presidency, sovereignty. For some reason, the presidency doesn't seem to do anything. Hold on to the planned economy, own party.
Like, it doesn't pop up anything when you hover over it, or?
No, as you can see.
Maybe that's... maybe it's from government time, I don't know.
Crisis in the Kremlin is amazing. Okay, let's see.
Wait, there's just literally one save spot now?
I'm pretty sure there is one safe spot.
Fuck.
Oh god. Damn, I need to drink. Miss USSR. So, okay. Even schoolgirls 16, 17 years old are allowed to participate. Okay. The Komsomol Central Committee is categorically against organizing such events that cause an irreparable blow to socialist morality. Of course. After all, only in the Soviet Union, the stronghold of socialism, people are judged by work and deeds, not by external beauty. Unlike the depraved West, the Soviet man does not need such bourgeois surpluses. Okay. Okay, Soviet boomers. That's very interesting. Soviet Christian morality does not allow for this.
We don't have enough political power.
Wait, this is the Lolo Law song.
Oh, no way.
What
no way.
the fuck?
I heard the first line and I was like, no, that can't be. And then you basically confirmed it for me. What the hell?
I mean, he is a Russian singer. That was a Soviet song.
But the fact that they used it is just.
I had not heard this in a long time. This is falling out of fashion these days, which is unfortunate.
It is.
Okay, so
all the contests sent we need to represent these are at Miss World.
of course, that seems like the most liberal thing to do, but for sure we'll do it. Anyway, Miss USSR 1989 was won by 17-year-old 10th grader from Moscow, Yulia Sukhanova. For Yulia, this was not the first beauty contest. In 1988, she was a finalist of the first Soviet beauty contest, Moscow Beauty. Okay. The first all-union beauty contest itself gathered a considerable stir, and the discussion of the results of the jury's voting went beyond the borders of the Union. Okay. However, Anna Garbunova presented USSR at Miss World 1989 World Contest, taking first place in the Miss Photogenicity nomination.
What the hell is that?
That's how, how good you look in camera shots or something like that. It's like a term for TV stars and stuff.
Some of the things that I don't know.
Yeah, like Italy is a TV-obsessed country, so when I was growing up, I got exposed to a lot of these sort of half-technical things.
I see.
Yeah.
We gotta be even more political power. The collapse still growing. Do we have any money at all?
Let's see. No, 9.
9. Possible could decrease something, but I don't wanna.
We need to propaganda.
Can we see what we... Can we go back to our stats again? Is there anything that you think might be redundant? Oh, standard of living is actually growing.
Standard of living is growing. That's pretty good.
It was at like 60 at the start of the game, so...
That's awesome.
Should we try to... not invest into anything else? See if we can get... see if we can get the 9 into a 10.
I mean... Perhaps agriculture.
Oh, come on, agriculture already failed at the start of the game. It was at 60. Look.
Yeah, but it's been at 57 for a while. I don't know. I feel like agriculture is like the least supposed to be the least important of all these things.
One turn, okay? Come around.
Sure, let's do this. Okay, so the long-awaited opening of the first Congress of the People's Deputies happened, Comrade Vitaly Ivanovich. On the very first day of its work, the Congress elected Gorbachev the chairman of the USSR Supreme Council. The meeting, which was broadcast live, chained millions of Soviet citizens to television screens who were eager to see firsthand the birth of Soviet pluralism.
I know they're just saying chained to the TV screens. As like everyone was excited or tensed and paying attention to that, but for some reason I just thought of a slightly more authoritarian version.
Oh, like you must watch this or else, you know? Yeah.
Yes.
For the first time, viewers were able to see the speeches of academician Andrei Sakharov, who criticized the political system of the USSR, saying that thanks to the position of chairman of the Supreme Council, almost unlimited power is concentrated in the hands of one person. Also, the historian Yuri Afanasyev spoke at the Congress, using the term Stalin-Brezhnev Supreme Council and aggressively obedient majority with respect to opponents. thereby causing discontent in the media from pro-Soviet publications. On the last day of the Congress, in a relative minority, radical deputies formed the Interregional Deputies Group, as opposed to created Union faction. Oh, it's the famous Union faction, I see. Which advocated the preservation of the USSR. Not by will, but here you have to choose between two chairs again.
Oh boy.
Join the faction Union.
Oh, we can't be so radical, apparently.
Yeah, because we're not being radical enough. I think that the whole thing is that it depends. Like, a lot of these events seem to be focused on choosing between two sides when there's actually three sides. There's liberals, perestroika, reformists, and conservatives.
And then us.
we are everywhere. But if you're, it seems like if you're reformist, like we're doing right now, it really likes to tell us that basically we have to be more on one side or the other. If we want to be conservative or liberal in that choice, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, formed around supporters of the single union state, the Union Deputy Group sharply criticized all populist-minded politicians and Baltic separatists, those fuckers, trying to secede from the USSR.
Oh, it's the SS remnants.
Yes. Yes.
Let's continue.
Vitaly Vorotnikov supported the formation of the Union, calling the group supporters the only able-bodied political forces in the country. Well, that's quite extreme. Interesting.
Oh,
I love how Lenin is back.
Power.
Oh, political line is back to conservator. Look at that collapse meter.
Still growing.
It's growing a lot.
Standard is like 70 though. Is there anything we can invest into that can decrease panic?
We could remove some of the social spending and
we have 10 right now, so unless you want to.
My good friend, I know exactly what is required. KGB!
Perfect.
The KGB is back on the track.